Well, Brian, we sat in this room last week and talked about what it would mean to go 2-0 over the course of the weekend. And I'm curious, beyond what it means for you in the record books and in the standings and all those things, how is this group different after winning 2 games in a row in a challenging position where you're home Thursday and you have to go on the road Saturday?
You know, I think we're a happy group. Obviously, I think it got more competitive these last 2 games. Our guys started stepping up, knew the opportunity they had and how important it was. And I love the way that we scrapped for everything. You know, 2 games in 3 days is not easy, but our guys fought hard. They stayed together, and it was good to have that group around each other for such an extended period of time. I think we built some chemistry.
Urgency can be valuable. I'm curious, was there more urgency after you get the win Thursday because you know that the opportunity is still in front of you, or was it going into Thursday that you felt that desperation?
Yeah, I felt coming into Thursday, guys were a little bit embarrassed about how they played in Florida, especially on the defensive end. So guys really stepped up, challenged each other, challenged themselves to play a tougher brand of lacrosse, especially on defense. And I thought we did a great job defensive end, both games really. But starting with Florida, holding that team to 10 goals was a pretty good feat.
As a guy who's made their living as a defender, as a player, and then obviously as a coach, that can be your focus. What do you think has turned this defense around the last few games?
We're playing better on-ball defense. Our one-on-one defense is better, and then our off-ball defense has been, more team-oriented. It's not just one guy sliding by himself. It's guys working together, communicating to make sure that if somebody leaves and slides, we have a second slide there. But I think the overall toughness, the overall getting ground balls in our zone has improved. But it all comes down to the one-on-one, making it a personal matchup with the guy you're playing, and our guys came out and wanted to win their matchup.
I think.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey, Will! Good job, baby. That's your goal. Good job.
A big part, too, has to be the play of Nico. And this is unique because you have Brian Phipps, who was an all-star this year. He's been a great goaltender for a number of years in this league. But you went from the decision of having them split to now Nico seems to have grabbed the job. Where's the goalie position right now, and what did the last 2 games do for your confidence in that position?
Yeah, I thought Nico has really played well, especially in Atlanta, making 19 saves. That's a huge number. So I think he has earned the right to start from now on. We're very comfortable with splitting halves, and that was actually the plan going into Florida. But right now, I think Nico's earned that, the start, and he'll be the starter until we need to make a change.
The Florida game. I think about Rochester that holiday weekend. You guys played really well on both sides. But was the Florida game, in terms of the offense putting up 18 goals and the defense keeping that number, as you mentioned, to 10, the best example of what you want this team to be as you make this push towards the postseason?
Yeah, I think so. I think offensively it was, having 6 weapons on the field at a time, 6 different guys that can score. Obviously guys like Lyle, when they start getting hot, they can kind of take over a game. Miles is the same way. But having guys like, Josh Burns scoring in numbers and Matt Danowski and Jake Ficarro all kind of chipping in, that's the kind of dangerous offense that I think we envision having. And they played that way the last few games. Now Saturday, I think they were a little bit tired, a little lethargic, and weren't dodging as hard in that game. But, for the most part on Florida, that kind of rhythm, that tempo was pretty impressive, and especially, coming out from the start. Finish.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Timeout! Timeout! Timeout!
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, great call, coach! Great call, coach! Great call, coach!
Is that hustle? Is that hustle?
Miles!
Don't fucking. I was just thinking that.
So, Coach, there's a scoreboard, and then the standings reflect what you can do in leading this team. But within the game, if you look at Florida, I think you may have come out on top when we factor in the challenges. And I know we talked about this after the game on the air. You probably should have been undefeated in terms of that 2-point challenge. Also, some quality timeout calls. How do you feel about the way that you handled some of those game management situations?
Feeling pretty good. It helps when you have the replays right on the screen, and that really helped. For the first one within the crease call. Plus, I had some guys on the sideline who are always, their heads are in it. They say, "Coach, challenge that." That he was in the crease. Guy was laying in the crease. So threw the challenge flag and got that one right. And then the second one, I felt pretty confident about it. But somewhere along the line, the story's changed. And but either way, it was great. The timeouts, I thought. I think in this league, we get so many breaks with TV timeouts that you really kind of use your timeouts to save possessions or to make sure you get a good win. And I thought that one in the corner was a chance where we got a rebound. He was about to go out of bounds, but getting that timeout call, I think, allowed us to use that whole shot clock and to get the right guys on the field and attack Florida.
And you have a lot of assistant and some high school head coaches on your roster. So when a guy like Brian Farrell says good timeout, that's something you've got to be really happy with.
Yeah, he liked the way I was running down the sideline a little bit for that one. I guess I was motoring down there to get closer, but yeah, it was. I think the guys, when they get that timeout and they know they kind of save the possession, I think that gets them a little bit fired up.
Two-pointer. Yeah, so when I threw the flag, they told me that it was deflected off of their guy, and I wanted to challenge that we shot the ball outside the two-point arc. During the challenge, they turned over and said it was inconclusive, and they thought the shot went off of our guy, which means it'd be a one-pointer. So, I think, look back at the video, I think I'll be right on that.
How would you describe the stress level in that Atlanta game? Because Florida, at least into the fourth quarter, you could see you guys had control of that game. Yep. Florida seemed to wanted to have no part of you guys, but Atlanta was very much back and forth. Yep. Again, how would you describe those final minutes of that game?
To be honest, I thought we got more energetic and more energized as the game got closer and got a little bit chippier, I guess. Guys started getting a little bit more fired up. I thought early on we were kind of sleepwalking through it, and we had a lead, and we really didn't continue to be the aggressor. But when that game started getting tight and things started getting a little chippy, our guys stepped up. So that was great to see. I think they had a lot of fun. They really kind of enjoyed that fiery kind of atmosphere. So I think the guys really enjoyed that win. Coming back from a 1-goal deficit late in the game, kind of fighting their way through it was pretty impressive.
Well, you obviously enjoy that too. I mean, you crack a smile as a player. That was part of your reputation as well. Factoring in the Thursday and Saturday games, what's a healthy amount of chippiness, physical play, things that maybe linger after the whistle when you try and build the identity for this group?
It's tough. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're man down or you're out for an extended period of time, but I think it's important to know and show that guy across from you that this is more important for you than it is for them, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to win the game. So to have that, I thought young guys really did that. Guys like Nick Manis, Mike Evans really stepped up and did that as well. So just kind of showing that sense of urgency that, hey, we're here to win and we're not messing around, that can go a long way.
Take us into the locker room after you get the win in Atlanta. The guys having a chance to take a deep breath, recognize what they've done over the course of 3 days, and knowing what's ahead of you, obviously. But there had to, I have to imagine, been a sense of relief, joy that after what's been a challenging year, you are still in the heart of all the things you wanted to accomplish when the year started.
Sure. The locker room was great. It was guys having a lot of fun messing around. Locker rooms after every win are a lot better than the losses. But the guys, I thought just the competitiveness, the attitude they had. I think right after the game, guys were excited to play Denver. They're already talking about Denver and what we're going to do when we get there. So I think the overall level of just that, I guess that almost like a playoff type atmosphere where you win, you keep going, and you lose, you could be out, has really kind of motivated the guys.
Before we get into Denver, best story maybe off the field from the 3 days together, because it is unique. I mean, you guys usually meet for 1 or 2 days, if that. Here you had 3 days, a trip to Atlanta Airport, which is always an adventure. So give us an idea of what it was like to be with the guys away from the field for that long a time.
Yeah, the day of travel in between was tough, some delays. Atlanta Airport was about 25 miles from the hotel. It probably took about an hour, 45 minutes to get there. So
that traffic is brutal.
Traffic is brutal. The airport's huge, and it's not easy to get around there. So guys were definitely tired on Friday, and we kept the practice very light and just kind of made sure we were stretched out. But I really enjoyed the time where the guys, we could have the team meals where everybody was together and eating and joking around and having fun. Those types of things, and even post game on Saturday, guys together, hanging out together, sharing stories and just sharing their excitement about the team was pretty important. And that goes a long way. That can be even more important in practice. Is just kind of building that chemistry.